Yes, people. How are we all doing? Welcome all back to the channel for the Liverpool 4, Tottenham 2, not 1, 2. I'll change it the title. The Liverpool 4, Tottenham 2 match reaction. A much needed return to form from us. You know, April was a bad month for the football club. A real bad month. Title ended, Europa League gone, FA Cup gone. We just need to end the season with a little bit of pride. And yesterday was one of our best performances in a long time, especially from like minute 15 to minute 65. And then we just sort of took our foot off the pedal, foot off the boil sort of thing. But there's plenty to discuss, plenty to get into today. But before we get into it, if you're new here, you're not ready, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you're turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any more content. I'll address this now just because I've got a lot of this. Them shirts behind me, that one is now out of date because it's got the patch around it, which was originally supposed to be on there and isn't now. I got them from DH Gate for like 10 quid. I refuse to spend the money that they actually charge. So these are fake shirts that look all right. They cost me 10 quid off DH Gate, but there's loads of websites that can do it. So, starting 11 yesterday, Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Quansah, Robertson, Endo, Maka, who's the other one? Elliott, Salah, Gakpo, Diaz. That's a very good starting 11. In an ideal world, I'm not playing Diaz. I'm playing Jota, but needs must sort of thing. But to me, that is a very strong starting 11. And we saw it yesterday after the first 10 minutes where we started slow. But we've started slow the majority of the season. But once again, we started slow. But after that first 10 minutes, I thought we just settled down and really got into the groove and were class. I thought we were absolutely class. The first goal, some delivery by Gakpo. That it's such a difficult delivery to nail because of the angle and because you've got to wait for the run timing. But it's a beautiful ball. Salah nods it into the back of the net. Keeper probably should do better. I'd be annoyed if like Kelleher or Alisson let that in. But it's good for Salah. Getting back on the score sheet after last week. I thought Salah had a pretty good game overall. Created a lot. Probably unlucky to not have one assist. We'll discuss that later. But I thought he was a threat all round. And you could see why. Well, I thought watching that game, you could see why I want him to be moved up front. Because when he gets in them central areas, he's just such a threat. Still at this age, he's still bodying centre backs. He's still linking up the play very well. There's just so much I like about Salah, even now. I certainly wouldn't move him on. I'd be looking at, seeing if he can move up front. Because I do struggle to see where he necessarily fits in as a winger under Arne Slot. But on the whole, yesterday, I thought he was very good. I thought that entire right-hand side of Trent at right back, Elliott right centre mid, and Salah right wing was delightful. It had so much chemistry. It knew exactly where it needed to be. When Elliott tucked in, Trent went wide. When Salah went wide, Elliott and Trent tucked in. It was fluid. It was chemistry off the chart sort of thing. And there's a reason why a lot of our good play came down that side. Don't get me wrong, obviously with Emerson being there, he's not great in his natural position, let alone out of position. That was always going to be the side you target. But I thought Elliott, Salah, Trent, the link up down that right hand side was fantastic, and it was. I'm just thinking now, every single goal came down that right hand side, bar down the right. The third goal was created down the right, and the fourth goal was created down the right. It was just the first one, which was created down the left with a cross from Gakpo, but it was finished off that from the right hand side sort of thing. So that right hand side was very impressive, and I think Harvey Elliott certainly got man of the match yesterday. Wonderful goal. Got an assist as well with that cross to Gakpo. He's definitely in my mind tied down that starting spot for the rest of the season. The final 2 games we got. You got Villa away and then Wolves at home. I just don't see how you can't start Elliott. He's been one of our best players in the second half of the season. And yesterday, once again, shown exactly why he has all that quality and all that ability to be a top player for us. What else? Who else should we talk about? Diaz was a weird one. I don't think Diaz had a great game. I'll be honest. I don't think Diaz was necessarily great. But I think that's because the other two were just really good. Gakpo and Salah were just exceptional. I thought Diaz was often just sort of pushed to the side a little bit and forgotten about. Not many attacks went through him. He seems to be almost playing false 9 for a number of parts of that game, especially in the first half. It would be Gakpo on the left, Salah on the right, and Diaz just trying to pick up whatever space he can in the middle. It didn't seem like the ideal game for Diaz, if you get what I mean. It was certainly a game where I think if Jota was playing up front, you'd see even more quality and even more decisiveness. But obviously, the issue you've got is Diogo Jota's legs are made of cheese strings and can't survive much sort of football, should we say. But yeah, Bard Diaz, who had a quiet, bad and quiet are 2 separate things. He had a quiet game. I thought when he got the ball, he was doing some decent things, but he was just quiet yesterday. We didn't really go through him in the same way that we were going through a Gakpo or a Salah. I thought McAllister again had another solid game. The pass for the second goal really just seems to go under. That's a ridiculous pass. To spot that run Trent's making and perfectly weight it, superb. And obviously Robertson taps home the rebound from the Salah shot, but that all comes from McAllister's pass. Defensively, McAllister's still offering you what he offers you. On the ball, he's still offering you what he offers you. Is he a little bit tired? Yes, you can see that. But on the whole, again, another really solid performance in the midfield from him. And then Wataru Endo. This was a game this was a type of game which Endo was always going to benefit in, because Wataru Endo should be playing against the teams that require a battle in the midfield, because Wataru Endo likes the battle. He likes the physical side of the game. That's where his strengths lie. And yesterday was just one of them up against Papsar and what's his name? Basuma. Up against Papsar and Basuma. Endo needed to be in there to just break it up, and I thought he'd done that very well. On the ball, he is what he is. He didn't give it away much yesterday, but again, it wasn't progressive. And when you see what Bajcetic does when he comes on and the way he just naturally receives the ball on the turn, that's progressive. Endo isn't that progressive DM. But what you lost when he went off was that battle and that fight in the middle. The likes of Maddison, the likes of Richarlison, of Son, just started to get just a little bit more time and space, because there wasn't that Duracell bunny running around the midfield, tackling them and disrupting the play and breaking up the rhythm for Tottenham's game. Defensively, Trent was sound. Trent. He nearly scored from the fucking halfway line. That. This is what he is. I thought again he had a game. Robertson, I thought defensively was pretty solid. Got his goal. Overall, thought was pretty good. Van Dijk was Van Dijk. Don't really think there's much you can do for either goal. And then Quansah, I thought Quansah had a blinder of a game again. I think Quansah gives you that quality on the ball that you miss when Matip's not there. Is he as good as Matip on the ball? No, because Joe Matip was a unicorn of a centre back, and he's someone that I hope gets a real good send off on the last day of the season, because he was so underrated for us. But them things that Matip did sometimes when he get the ball and he just drives through the midfield and he alleviates so much pressure. Quanta done a couple times yesterday, and it's so important. Obviously, last 20 minutes he was struggling. He was constantly getting beaten by blindside runs from Charlison. But I'm not concerned because he's 20. He will learn that. He will learn that through playing constantly. He wasn't supposed to be playing at this level this season. He's done it. He survived pretty much all of it brilliantly. There are still problems in his game, but that's going to happen when you're 20. And it's acceptable when you're 20. Them kinks in his game will get ironed out. And we move. And then his intangibles, his base level skill, Quanta, is off the charts for how young he is. He's really special. He's really special. Big ups my guy, Dr. Blake. Thanks for the super chat, mate. Much appreciated. He said, Tom, Nunez is cooked for this whole season. I mean, I'll touch on Nunez now if you want, because we need to discuss the situation. And big ups, Dr. Blake again. He says he needs a good tournament for Uruguay. Confidence-wise, definitely. But Nunez came on, done what he done. Nunez just gave you a Nunez performance. Offside, big chances missed, runs around, closes down. I can't. It's getting to the point where the novelty is wearing off with Nunez, and the running round and the closing down and the working hard is nice. But considering how much money you cost, I need more. I need more than just that. Yesterday, again, a real big chance for him in the last seconds of the game. Ball comes through to him. All he's got to do is take a touch. Take a touch around the goalkeeper and tap it in the net. That's what you got to do. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But I said, I could see it at the time. Vicardio's come out and not come out in the correct. Vicardio's come out and committed to Nunez having a shot. And maybe it's harsh on me because I'm judging Nunez against. I'm judging Nunez against what Bobby Firmino was and what Fernando Torres and what Luis Suarez were. You know, the great number 9s of Liverpool's history, or recent history, should I say. They would have taken it round the keeper and they would have tapped it in. But they were genuine world-class footballers. Some of the best in the world in their position when they played for us. Nunez is far from that. But Nunez has now missed 27 big chances this season and got 11 goals. Last season, he scored 9 goals and missed 20 big chances. Like, the improvements in his overall game, you know, they're there. You can see he's got better at link-up. He's got better at you know, running the line. He's got better at sort of everything outside of the goal scoring aspect. He's gotten better at, and he deserves a bit of credit for that. But the goal scoring aspect is the massive part of it. You're the number 9 for Liverpool. You're the number 9. That's the problem. Right, ZX. Jordan Henderson left this season and we went back into a title challenge. Last season when Jordan Henderson was captain playing week in, week out, we finished 5th with poor performances and a lack of energy in midfield. Let's not rewrite history now. I think he will be a late bloomer. Big ups, Dr. Blake. I mean, I struggle to see it. Like, the names here, Drogba and Melito. Drogba and Melito had very sound fundamentals. Very sound fundamentals. I mean, if I go look at Didier Drogba, Didier Drogba's stats. Can I pull it up by season? Oh, it's not letting me pull it up by season, man. No, it is actually. So I'm going to use Drogba's Chelsea days because that's what everyone knows him from. Drogba was averaging like 15 to 20 goals a season before that. Like, come on. This is what he is. Drogba had fundamentals. Melito had fundamentals. A lot of these late bloomer strikers, like a Cavani, some people say he was a late bloomer. The fundamentals are there. They are lethal finishers, and they always have an aspect of their game that is there. When we go by late bloomer, you're going on stats. Nunez's issue has always been and continues to be his poor decision making in front of goal. He tries to go bottom corner when he should go top. He tries to go left when he should go right. He tries to go right when he should go left. He tries to chip when he should place. He tries to place it when he should chip it. You watch a lot of the decisions he makes in front of goal, and you sit there and go, "Why have you done that? What?" And that's the problem. I like Nunez. He gives me an awful lot of joy watching him because he's got the work rate, he's got the desire to be a success at Liverpool, but desire and work rate is one thing. We need output. We need more output. He's got 18 goals this season, like 50 odd games. 18 and 50 odd games. Like, for what he is, I just don't think that's good enough. I don't think that's good enough. And if I was to get an offer of around 70 million this summer, I'd consider it. I'd seriously consider it. Because the big appeal to Darwin Nunez coming in was he's raw, but he's working with Jurgen Klopp, the man who was the mastermind behind Royce, the mastermind behind Lewandowski, played a key part in Aubameyang's development. Just at Liverpool, Firmino, Salah, and Mane were all, protégés of his, who he really worked and developed on. Jurgen Klopp's track record with attackers is exceptional. So if you bring in a raw guy with a lot of potential there, Jurgen Klopp can extract that. We've not seen that yet, and now Jurgen Klopp is going, and we're getting a manager in Arne Slot who has a track record of it with Santiago Jimenez, but that's really it. So I've got no guarantees that Nunez is going to kick on under Arne Slot. I've got no guarantees of it. Would I like it? Sure, 100% I would. I want Nunez to be a success, but I'm also not going to live in blissful ignorance. The man has he played 100 games yet? Or he's at least played close to 100 games yet? Let me go find out. Where is it? Nunez. There. We've got Nunez made 94 appearances for Liverpool now. 94. We're closing in on 100. We're closing in on 100 appearances for Liverpool with Nunez. And the problems that were there match day 1 are there match day 94. They're still there. And that's the big problem. In the big moments, can I trust him? Do I think Darwin Nunez has the consistency and the mentality to lead a team to a title in the Premier League? I don't at this point. And in the summer, he turns 25. In the summer, he's 25. The window of opportunity for him to become this player and the window of opportunity for him to realise his potential is closing fast. It's closing very fast. And the one thing, the thing that worries me most about Nunez's career is if he doesn't learn how to finish, and if he doesn't get that mentality right, the moment he physically starts to struggle, the pace starts to drop off, or the explosiveness starts to fade, you're then relying on technical ability, and then there's a real problem there. I wish Nunez would have been a success at Liverpool. I wish I could be sitting here right now and going, Darwin Nunez has been one of the best strikers in the world this year. He's done this, he's done that. We've seen massive improvements. He's going to lead the line for Liverpool next year. Stone cold fact of the matter is I don't believe that's the case. And when you see the reaction on social media yesterday, let's just address it right now. No one should ever abuse a person about a football match or about performance on the football on the football pitch. It's horrible. It's violent. Wrong. Abuse and criticism There is a fine line between it, and too many people are going on the other side. Too many people are going on the other side of it. What it is with Nunez and his reaction, if it is true that he's had death threats, I've got no problem with the way he's reacted. A man has every right to defend himself and to react based on the way that's on the things that have been said to him. But the idea that saying you don't believe he can become a success at Liverpool, that's not abuse. It is very player FC with Nunez. It's very player FC towards him. It's very much like Martial at United. There's a core group of fans that absolutely adore him. And if you say or do anything that doesn't align with their views, then you are going to be sort of ridiculed and told you're a bad fan and everything. So that's not right. I can sit there and say what I've said about Nunez, and I will continue to sit there and say it. He's not consistent enough now. He's 25 in the summer. He's not this young forward who's still raw. He's a year away from his prime by most accounts of a footballer. He is a form player. He is a inconsistent player in front of goal. He lacks the correct decision making at this point in his career. All that sort of thing is too big of a worry for me with him. When you look at the history of Liverpool number 9s, and I go through the likes of Ian St. John, Roger Hunt, Ian Rush, Kane Dalglish, Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler, Fernando Torres, Luis Suarez, Roberto Firmino. The standard to be a Liverpool number 9 is very high. It's one of the most historic positions and historic numbers in this club's history. Liverpool have John Aldridge as well. Can't believe I forgot Aldo. Kevin Keegan as well. Liverpool has always had elite strikers. Always. Their successful sides have been led by a killer up top. Very few consistently successful Liverpool sides have had a forward who isn't elite. And the one that people throw is, well, Bobby Firmino never got 25, 26 goals a season. No, but the two either side of them did. And they were effectively your strikers then, Salah and Mane. Nunez is being tasked to be that number 9, hence the way we play. We play him as a number 9. Darwin Nunez is never going to be as good as Ian Rush was, as good as Luis Suarez was in the Liverpool shares. As much as I hope he could be, there's nothing that I've seen to suggest it. There's nothing I've seen to suggest it. Big ups my guy, Dr. Blick again. Diego Forlan was a flop at United, moved and got better. Diego Forlan moved to a different league with different sort of expectations. So that part, yes, I agree on that front. Pipo Inzaghi was a horrible player with no pace. Pipo Inzaghi was a master at the hardest thing to do in football, which is to score goals. I would rather have a Pipo Inzaghi than a Darwin Nunez at this point in time, I'll be honest. Because I have all the players to do all the other stuff. All you needed with Pipo Inzaghi was put the ball in the box, the man will score. With Nunez, I need to give him the ball 25 yards out on the roll first time it might go in. Because the lack of confidence I have in my striker going through one-on-one is alarming, I'll be honest. When Jota's through on goal, I stand up. When Salah's through on goal, I stand up. When Gakpo's through on goal, I stand up. When Diaz is through on goal, I've not got that confidence, but, I could still see him scoring 1 or 2. When Nunez is through one-on-one, I've got no confidence in him. I have zero confidence in Nunez's ability to finish one-on-one. Like, I shouldn't. That shouldn't be the case with Liverpool's number 9. I shouldn't be watching Liverpool's number 9 and going, "Fuck, he's gonna miss this." That's the concern. You look at Nunez and it's just not there. the key aspects of being an elite number 9 to lead your team to a title is simply not there with Nunez. It's not. And it would take an awful lot of change very quickly to become that forward, to become that striker. A lot of people harp on about what Darwin Nunez done in that year at Benfica before we bought him. That was the outlier in his career. Let's be real. Because Darwin Nunez has played, I'm not going to count this time in Uruguay. Darwin Nunez had 5 full seasons. He got 16 goals in his first, 14 in his second, 34 in his third, 15 in his fourth, and 18 in his fifth. And this year he's played the most games. The year where he got 34 is the outlier. It's the outlier in his career. Rather than being the start of the new reality, it's the outlier. Darwin Nunez is more likely to get you 15 league goals than he is to get you 30. Statistically. That's the problem. When you have Mane and Salah, you could get away with your striker getting 10 a season, 11 a season, 12 a season, because the other two would get you 20 to 25. Right now, Salah can get you 20, 25. Gakpo doesn't play enough, so I can't say. Diaz can get you 10. Jota, if he stays fit for the whole season, can get you 20. Nunez gets you 10. We're probably net negative on goals, despite having 2 more attackers. That's a concern. I just think... I think Michael Edwards has said what he's... Michael Edwards has planted his flag in terms of he wants to move on Darwin Nunez in the summer. The articles that have come out from Paul Joyce, from Chris Bascombe, all the stuff about, you know, he's losing his biggest supporter when Klopp goes, and Michael Edwards didn't want him, he wanted Nkunku, and this, that, and the other. That, to me, is Michael Edwards saying, we're moving on in the summer. Michael Edwards doesn't... I don't think Michael Edwards likes that type of striker. I know Michael Edwards wouldn't have bought Darwin Nunez. The last forward that I remember Edwards really pushing for was Fede Chiesa, who went to Juve. And before the knee injury, Federico Chiesa was one of the most exciting youngsters in the world. If I go look at Federico Chiesa's stats... Fede Chiesa. Obviously, he had the breakout tournament with Italy in the summer of 2021. But at Fiorentina as well, he was getting you 12 goals, 5 assists for a side that wasn't really, it was an inconsistent at best side. It was a low-end side. I mean, one year they went winless in their last 14 games of the season, nearly got relegated. Chiesa was the guy that Edwards was earmarking to be a forward for Liverpool. He was a top player. That's the type of guy that Edwards and his team push for. Not Nunez. Nunez was too much. Nunez was always a risk, but it was a risk that you were willing to take because of who you had coaching him. But when that coach goes and when them guarantees go, is the risk worth it? Is the risk worth it? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. That's the problem, and that's why I believe he'll be moved on. I hope the people who've sent abuse to him get a fucking grip, because it's football. It's the most important, irrelevant thing in life, football. And to attack a person personally because of it is horrendous. It's vile. But criticism for him is warranted, because how many games is it now where he hasn't scored? Everyone gets on Salah for not turning up when we needed them most, and Salah didn't play well for like the 6-7 games. He didn't. Nunez also didn't play well in those games. But one guy was getting all the focus, the other guy was getting brushed under the carpet, sort of thing. I am concerned about what Nunez's future is. Is he the kind of striker Slot wants? because Slot is apparently this revolutionary guy in terms of developing players, because he gets proper into the psyche and figures everything out, and gives sort of all these new things to these players. Like Jimenez, like that right back he bought, and he sent to fucking like karate classes so he get aggressive. With Orkun Koshku, he taught him how to become more explosive. Arnie Slot is apparently very good at all these little things, but is there just simply too much to work with Nunez? Because he seems to me overly emotional. So Nunez has to be taught to keep his emotions in check, learn composure, and general just sort of game sense, because the amount of times he's offside, the decision making as a whole sort of thing, that there's a lot of concerns there. Can Slot do that? Is Slot going to be given the opportunity to do that? Or is it going to be a case of Michael Edwards and his team looking at it and going, get Nunez out, we'll bring in such and such and such and such and such and such, and then they will make everything up in aggregate and it will better suit us. That could be the way forward. I look at our front three now. Nunez for me is fifth choice. I'd have Jota ahead of him. I'd have Diaz ahead of him. I'd have Gakpo ahead of him. For me, our best front three has been and always will be, with this combination of five: Salah on the right, Gakpo on the left, Jota up top. That's your best front three, because it's the best at playing football. It's the best at playing football. Therefore, it's going to be the one that is most clinical. It's going to be the one that creates the most. It's going to be the one that can link up with any combination of midfielders behind it. So then you get to, okay, we'll use Darwin Nunez as an impact sub. But if you're winning the game, you don't want to bring Darwin Nunez on. I'll be 100% real. If we're winning a game, I don't want to see Darwin Nunez come on the pitch, because you lose control. Nunez isn't a guy you want on when you're trying to see out a game. Nunez is a guy who has to start or doesn't come on if you're winning. He only comes on if you're chasing a game and you're trying to pump ball and box. I've tried to back him. I really have. And there was a lot to like. And it was always a case of, well, when it clicks, he'll fly, sort of thing. When's it going to click? Can Liverpool keep affording the gamble of going, it's okay if he doesn't turn up this year, next year it'll click. If it don't, no, it'll click. No, it'll click. What do we do if in 2 years' time we're still getting the same numbers? We're still getting 20 goals in all comps a season, but he's 27 now, and you've lost Salah. You've lost the guy who could get you 30, and you've lost Jota. You've lost the guy who could get you 20, and you've got young wingers in who need time and are going to be a little bit inconsistent. All of a sudden, then my most reliable finish is Gakpo. That's even if he is still here in 2-3 years. If we kept Nunez, that's the worry. Nunez had a good run of form from January to March. In that same time, Jota was our best forward. Nunez was not the best forward. Jota was the best forward. Nunez did not carry us. Jota carried us. Let's keep it real. When I look at what Gakpo has done, Gakpo was someone who got a lot of criticism and some abuse. But Gakpo got a lot of criticism, especially after the United game, when Jamie Carragher came out and said he runs like he's playing with lead in his boots, and that caused this whole pile onto Gakpo. Since then, he's buckled down. He's got his head screwed on, and he, for me, has been our best forward since April 1st. He's been our best forward. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. He knuckled down and he got on with it, and he shut everyone up. All the people who doubted Gakpo, now silenced. They're now silenced. They can't say anything, because this is what Gakpo does. You see the quality he's got, and he's now put himself on that team sheet. When we play Aston Villa on Monday, if Gakpo's not starting, I'm not watching, sort of thing, because there's not much more he can do as a footballer. He's been exceptional, and yesterday again, exceptional. Quality in the air for once. A big problem I had with Gakpo was He couldn't hack it in the air for someone as tall as he was. Yesterday, he dunked on Romero, who's one of the better centre backs in the league. He bodied him. He had Romero whenever he wanted him. He ran that game, Cody Gakpo. Do not try. No, no, Ryan, no. No, no. I'm not even going to get started on this. Don't even. But he ran that game. Give me a minute, people. Right, I'm back. So, what was I? So, I was on about Gakpo, weren't I? What Gakpo done after the criticism and abuse and poor form he had is exactly what any footballer should do. And it was because he addressed the problems. Gakpo didn't really work great off the ball, especially in the wider areas. Yesterday, he was fantastic in the wide areas defending. You look at the quality of delivery that man has. Gakpo's quality in the final third is remarkable. There's a reason why in a half season he had like 15 goals and 12 assists. He's got quality, he's got decisiveness in the final third. That's what it's about. And to me, it ultimately comes down to he had the desire to improve. Gakpo wanted to become better. And when you want to become better, that's where we're at. He now, for me, starts each of the last two games. He's been the best forward in the last month. He's one of the only bright spots in the month as a whole, should we say. This is what it's about. But I compare that to Nunez and I'm not seeing any notable improvements. And that's the problem. That's the worry. And it's hard. People might call it harsh. You shouldn't judge a player by the price tag when they had no involvement in it. I've kind of got to, though. I've kind of got to. Because Darwin Nunez is our record signing. Darwin Nunez is our record signing as a football club. Like that just says it all. If we're still having the same problems when the man's 25 as we did when he was 23, that's the problem. The thing with Diaz and the things I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't call out Nunez for this because it's the same thing I call out Diaz for. The novelty is wearing off. I need output. If with Diaz, I've sat there and said Diaz is the same player that we bought 2 years ago. We're back at that point where he's exciting to watch. He beats a man, but the end product isn't there. And I want him sold because of that. Now, I'd be a hypocrite to say we bought Nunez when he was 22, 23. He's now only 25. I've not seen noticeable improvements in output. I'd be a hypocrite to say, oh, well, keep him. We'll keep him. We'll just keep him around. He's good to have around, lads. That'd be hypocritical of me. That's not what I am. I have standards. I'm consistent with my views. And that is attackers need output, especially when you cost the big bucks. Do you know who our two most expensive forwards are? Diaz and Nunez. Do you know who our two worst in front of goal are? Diaz and Nunez. The ones that we bought for cheaper, in Jota, Gakpo, and Salah, they're better. I trust them more. And it's not a shock that the guys that Edwards... Right, let me just have a look at this, Phil, because you keep mentioning that. So January 1st to when Jota got injured versus Brentford. So that is so you got the FA Cup game. Diaz scored, Jota got the assist, so that's one each. The EFL Cup first leg, no goal or assist for either of them. Bournemouth away, Jota got 2 goals and assists, so he's got 4, and Diaz has 1. Then the second leg, Diaz scores. That's 4-2. Then the FA Cup, Jota scores. Does Diaz get anything off the bench? No, so it's 5-2. Then Chelsea at home, Jota scores. Diaz scores an assist. That's 6-4. Then Arsenal away, no goal or assist for either of them. Burnley at home, Jota scores, Diaz scores. So that's 7-5. And then Brentford away, Diaz assist, Jota assist. So it ends up being like 8-6. So Jota had more in that time. And Jota was just an all-round better performer in that time. He was an all-round better performer. I counted that, Velv. I counted that. That was the first game I counted. Jota assisted the Diaz goal. Like, everyone forgets that goal come from Jota's run. It ended like 8-6 because Jota had Bournemouth, where he got 3 in one game, and Diaz got none. Yes, Doug, I've spoken a fair amount about Nunez and my thoughts on everything. Do I think Diaz could play in midfield 3? Probably not. I don't think I don't think he could do the defending side of it. That's the part that sticks with me. No, to be honest, no. Do you want to know what the thing is with him? He's the only guy I trust in front of goal implicitly. Does he like an injury? Yes. Does he like a 2-3 week break when team of the season's out? 100% he does. 100% he does. But I still don't have a better striker at the club or on the market for that price who does what he does. I just have to accept he likes an injury. If we can manage him better, i.e. what we did in the 21-22 season, all of a sudden you get 50 games out of him and you can get 25, 30 GA, which is exactly what you want from a forward. Diaz as a centre forward again. I think you're getting the same problems. Diaz likes being out wide and driving in the middle. If Diaz starts in the middle, where's he going to drive to? I don't think he works necessarily as a centre forward. Diaz is sort of he is a left winger, but he's an archetypal left winger. I look at Diaz and I look at Simon Adingra for Brighton, and I don't see much difference. I'll be honest. I don't see much difference. Now, maybe that is me being harsh on Diaz, but the type of player Adingra is, he's just a slightly less polished version of Diaz, but 5 years younger. That's more so what we can work with. That's what we can work with. No, but he is the same player though, Velv, because even then we were saying he's not great in front of goal, but he'll get better because he's younger. Then he got the injury, took a step back, took the step forward again this year, but we're at the same point now where we're going, he beats his man, he looks very exciting to watch. There's decent link up at times, but end product isn't there and he can't finish. That's the same problem. I can't. He's now 27. He might be soon to be 28. I can't just keep justifying that. Adingra is not overrated either, by the way. Adingra is someone I'd love for us to sign. Gakpo left wing, Salah striker, Diaz right wing. Perhaps we can try. I mean, is Jota back for Villa? If Jota's back for Villa, Jota plays Villa. And it's Gakpo, Jota, Salah. If not, maybe that's something you can try. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to talk about in terms of like defense. We do need to stop conceding fucking goals. Let's keep it real. 4-0 up, and we threw 2 basic stupid goals. Like that's piss poor. That's piss poor, and it's been a problem all season. Just yesterday we scored the goals to bail ourselves out. In other games we haven't. We haven't kept a clean sheet for what feels like fucking donkey's years in the Premier League. I can't remember the last time we kept a clean sheet. Like, it's really bad. And we need to switch on. Because that game's dead and buried and we just seemingly opened a door. Which we shouldn't have opened. And that's been a problem all season. Diaz will work better with a different manager. We saw him as a pure touchline last season before injury where him and Firmino were our best attackers. I think Diaz was far from a touchline winger last season. I think he's been more touchline this season than he was last season. I really do. I really, really do. That doesn't mean he's unhappy. Oh my god, that doesn't mean he's unhappy at the football club. Being annoyed it's a shit goal your team's conceded doesn't mean you're unhappy at the football club. You know who else was annoyed at times in the past? I remember Gerrard screaming at people, Carragher screaming at people, Van Dijk screaming at people, Henderson screaming at people. Doesn't mean they sit there and go, I want to leave the football club. I'm so unhappy at the football club. No, it means that's a fucking shit goal to concede. The game was ours. He's not going to sit there the moment Charlton went and right, that's it. I'm going. Yes, you can be angry, as he should be, because the team switched off and we got done down the side. But that doesn't mean he wants to leave all of a sudden. Let's keep it real, man. Let's be honest and real. The subs. Let's touch on the subs because a lot of people are going on about that. Bajcetic, I'm happy Bajcetic was back. By the way, I thought he actually was pretty decent. I thought he was actually pretty decent in terms of what he'd done on the ball. It's obviously not going to be a stellar performance from him because it's his first game back since September. But I thought you could see the things that you liked about Bajcetic. He received the ball very well on the turn. The passing was still somewhat there. Obviously, defensively, he was stumbling about, but he did take a while to get into the pace of the game, but you get that. The other subs, Gomez, I didn't think was great. Obviously, made that very good clearance, but beyond that, I didn't think he was great. I don't even know who else came on. Nunez came on, but I've touched massively on Nunez. Who's the other ones? Gravenberch. Gravenberch was Gravenberch. Kept the ball, was pretty tidy with it. Won a couple of duels, lost a couple of duels. It is what it is. And then Szoboszlai came on and did he touch the ball? He had a shot that went wide. The game kind of died off when we were making subs, which was the thing. Ryan Gravenberch didn't misplace a pass. He had 100% pass accuracy. Therefore, he kept the ball. But yeah, I mean, look, Elliott was fantastic yesterday. Gakpo was fantastic yesterday. Salah was back to his normal self for large parts of yesterday. All in all, pretty happy with the performance. Hopefully, we can just take that confidence into the next games. But you're only going to take that confidence into the next game if you reward players in form. So if we go to Villa Park and I see Nunez starting, or I see Szoboszlai starting over Elliott, big problems, because it's not the way to manage a football club. You've got to reward the players. You've got to reward the players who are in form, who've taken you there. Yes. I used to go a lot more regularly before they brought in the NFC tickets, but I hate the whole fucking debacle I've got to go through now to get them. So I haven't been to a game this season. I only went to 2 last year. I went to 3 the year before. But before the NFC tickets, I was going to like 10 a season. And I've seen some great moments. Robbo was sound. Robbo was really good. That's not the only one. I went through a period where every player I took a photo with would leave the next window. It was Suarez, then it was Sterling, then it was Coutinho. Back to back to back. Yeah, Robertson was good. Robertson had one of his best complete performances all season, sort of thing. There are still the occasional blips, but ultimately none of the goals were really his fault. Well, none of the goals were his fault because he was off the fucking pitch. So I can't say they were really his fault. None of them were his faults. The crossing is still what it is. It's not the most consistent, but there's some good deliveries, there's some bad deliveries. Got his goal, so that's like 2 in 2 games now. Maybe we should chuck him on the left wing, get some output there. Again, no, he doesn't, because to drop him, to get rid of him. If you're going to drop McAllister, it needs to be for a good reason, i.e. someone is playing so much better than him. No one is playing so much better than him. No one is. So he stays and plays. I think, again, we're just judging people by the high standards they've set at points this season. You're not going to consistently hold that high standard. McAllister had to play so fucking much for us. For about 4 months, he was playing 90 minutes every game. I'm not even going to get started on this, Ryan, because you are a fucking Gravenberch guy who hasn't been great all season apart from the last 2 games. Let's not start on it. But look, there's 2 games left. We're still the title. Jesus Christ, the title could still be won, people. The title could still be won. Ooh, the title. You know, we're only like what, fucking 5 points behind with 2 games to go. If Arsenal lose both their games and City lose all their games and we win ours, we're champions. Way! 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 Should we do all that stuff, people? We're going to be champions. We're going to lift the Premier League because Arsenal and City can lose 5 games. Yeah! No, we pissed away the title. And you look back at the games that we've lost, especially in this run, and you go, imagine if you just pulled your finger out. Imagine if you just pulled your finger out your arse. We would be in a much better position. We'd probably be in pole position to win this title, but it is what it is. I'm just glad we had a return to form sort of thing yesterday. Happy with the performance. Happy with a lot of players. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the change. I'm looking forward to what next year is going to bring. But I'm glad that Klopp is getting the... not the send-off, but a better send-off than what it looked like he was going to get because of just how badly we were playing. Because of just how badly we were playing, it looked like it was going to be a horrendous sort of end to the season. The players have seemingly pulled the fingers out their arse now. So that's good. We now just focus on winning these last 2 games, ending the season on a relative high, and then looking forward to next season and what Arnie Slot is going to bring to the football club, because I think it is the right time for a change. Why have you made this? But yeah, people, I'm going to call it there. Because in 7 minutes, I'm going to go. I'll try and get one done with it before the end of the season. I'll try and get one done before the end of the season. It might just be a long stream. It might be a video. Who knows? I'll try and get one done before the end of the season. But people, don't go anywhere after this. Once this stream ends, it's going to take you straight over to Footy Judgment, where I, Nobbins, Rory, and Mo are going to be talking about the weekend's games, about Arsenal's win and the dodgy refereeing, about City's win and the dodgy refereeing, and about our win and the not so dodgy refereeing. But, you know, go over there, stay in the stream, put in the chat something to know that you've come straight from here.